So the book has been released. This is the same book that Trump basically said didn't exist. He doesn't know how to draw. Here it is. So this is the actual drawing and what appears to be his signature by, which we will, of course, verify through other sources later in the episode. But this is it. We are going to look at all the ridiculous, disgusting things that are written in this book. Let's just get right into that, and then let's dissect why this is totally Donald Trump that did this. Democratic hoax my ass. You're the one that promised to release it. You're the one that is hiding from this. You're running from it. You're scared. So I'm so happy it's coming out. So let's get into it. So here's the table of contents. This has some notable people on it, including Donald Trump. Bill Clinton were listed under the Friends category, along with 20 other associates. So these are some notable people listed in here, and I want to get more into the book and the actual terrible letters that, basically show like everybody knows exactly what this type of guy is doing, exactly the scale. It's basically pretty freaking disgusting. So let's get right into that. So this is the opening letter of the book. I'm just going to read it to you because it's hard to read. Jeffrey, the idea behind this book was simply to gather stories and old photographs to jog your memory about places, people, and different events. Some of the letters will definitely achieve their intended goal. Some, well, you will have to read them to see for yourself, and we will. I know you will enjoy looking through the book, and I hope you will derive as much pleasure looking through it as I did putting it together for you. Happy birthday, love, what appears to be Ghislaine. So obviously some of this is a little bit unclear. So it opens up, innocuous enough. Basically, you think it's going to be just a bunch of well wishes, but then it goes dark real quick. All right, here's the one from Bill Clinton. This one isn't that bad, but he does throw something in there that I question. So it says, Jeffrey, happy 50th. It's astounding, isn't it, to learn later to many after all the years of learning and knowing, adventure and worry, you still have your childlike curiosity to make a difference, and then the embrace of friends. So the childlike curiosity I don't really like, but he talks about science here, learning and knowing. Well, Bill, you'll have to answer for yourself on this one. So here's where we start stepping up the insanity and, really demonstrating that these people knew exactly what Epstein was up to, which only can lead you to believe that they were kind of in on it one way or the another, either, aiding and abetting or just kind of like turning the other way constantly. So this letter is from Lex Wexner. It's the retail billionaire. It contained like a very short message. I wanted to get you what you want, so here it is. And then it looks like he drew some breasts underneath. And then here's a picture of him with, obviously one of the people redacted. So I'd like to move on to the next one. And here's just a quick one from the convicted perjurer and sex trafficker Maxwell, just showing, demonstrating the lavish life they lead while they, go around and hurt women. Basically, this is just, Epstein hugging somebody that's not Maxwell, and then you got Maxwell at the bottom, topless as well. Moving on. Here's one from Ace Greenberg. When Jeffrey joined Bear Stearns, which failed miserably, by the way, 24 years ago, it was our plan to put him on the American Stock Exchange floor to trade options on common stocks. Then later on, this is pretty innocuous, except for working with Jeffrey has been a pleasure of watching his meteoric success has given me many vicarious thrills. Yeah, what kind of thrills? Here's another one from somebody nobody knows. I certainly wouldn't want to get this just random circle looking thing. But it says right on there, if you look much closer, it's just a pair of images that are labeled as tit print. This guy died in 2022, so no way to ask Henry anything. And here's one of the letters that from somebody who appears to be a psychopath, which turns out he kind of was. Jean-Luc Brunel. He's basically trying to demonstrate here through algebra that 10 is the most beautiful number, even comparing himself with, great mathematicians like Euclid and Archimedes. Brunel died in 2022, where he was under the investigation for rape of minors and sex trafficking. You are the company you keep. So let's get to the truly horrific. This one is him in ripped up jeans, handing out balloons to little girls. Now, is that something a billionaire should be going around doing? And then later on, I don't know if this is supposed to mean 20 years later because that would be too young for Jeffrey. So these women also have JE, with a heart on it, tattooed to her ass. They're topless. We know he constantly gets these massages. So this is just more confirmation that all these people that are signing this book, and especially the ones that are writing these letters, know what's going on. They know he's a creep. So let's keep moving. Here's just a quick image of, two lions, having sex here. He also puts one of zebras in there. There is a ton of redacted photos of women in bikinis, but let's get to the truly horrific. So in addition to the one Trump actually drew, the one that he signed, we have this gem here. If you can't see it real good, it says pay to the order of Jeffrey Epstein. Amount is $22,500 from Donald Trump. Signature signed. Trump's printed name appears where the signature is, so we can't be certain that he signed this. But he's in on this. I mean, basically, they're making fun and joking about Trump, like even other people. If this isn't even his letter, then he's still making a joke, about the check, basically saying that they're going to sell this depreciated women. So let's listen to this handwritten caption. Jeffrey showing early talents with money plus women sells fully depreciated to Donald Trump for 22,500. Showed early people skills too, even though I handled the deal, I didn't get any of the money on the girl. Sounds like prostitution to me, fully depreciated. That either means he's done with her, used her up. It has obviously has some context, like just, he's done with her, you're gonna pass her on to the next guy. It's just disgusting. I mean, this is how they operate. Donald Trump has said the sickest things out there. He's allowed to, grab women by the pussy. He's allowed to go back into beauty pageants for underage girls and do what he wants and has said out loud several times because, they let you when you're rich and when you're famous, they let you do it. So if they let you, he's going to do anything that they let him do. So let's get after this dude as far as on this, and let's get right into what Trump letter actually says. So the Wall Street Journal did such a fantastic job breaking this down. We are going to use their analysis to go over this. So let's first read this uh, stupid drawing here. It says voiceover. There must be more to life than having everything. Donald, this is what he's supposed to be talking next. Yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey, nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, yes, we do, come to think about it. Donald, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me last time I saw you. Donald, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. Weird. No matter what, this is weird. He said this didn't exist. There's a whole book that can be proven that it was written back in 2003. So Donald should be on the hot seat. They should be, they're never going to because the Republicans are a bunch of sycophantic pussies, but they should, be holding him accountable. So the first thing he has said is like that still isn't him. It's forged. It's a democracy or a democratic hoax. We know it isn't at this point, Donald. You have change your story over and over again. You said that, one of those girls that was 16 was stolen from you. Why the hell would the head of the hotel, who actually is the owner, he's not even running it, know who is being stolen? And why would a 16-year-old girl being stolen to a spa make you decide that you're not friends with Epstein anymore? And then later it's about a real estate deal. It's whatever lie that you come up with in the first place. So let's go over some of the proof here that it's outlined in the Wall Street article. Signature and typeface. In Epstein's letter, Trump's signature is squiggly Donald, mimicking pubic hair. Trump often signs with his full name, but there are other examples of personal letters he sent with a similar signature. So this is letter to Epstein. Letter resemble, let's see who they resemble. A thank you letter from Trump sent in April 2006 to attorney George Conway. Here's the Epstein. Here is the other signature, very, very close. And a letter sent November 2000 to Hillary Clinton congratulating her. Damn, Trump, you would do anything for power at this point. So congratulate her, great going. Compare, compare, compare. Very, very similar. Line drawings, yes. I never drew anything. He's never drawn any pictures in his life. He said that, and then he had to change that story when they found that he sold these crappy drawings to people, just like he sells other bullshit to people, and somehow they buy it. So obviously these lines right here you can see they are very similar to the lines drawn in the picture, even though the picture is terrible. Anybody should be able to draw that. You can't tell me, you can say with any degree of certainty, well, I never draw women because this is such a masterpiece. It's a piece of shit. So he can draw it. So I don't want to hear that either. That's nonsense. And a lot of people are going to, I'm not going to play all these for you guys because that's Wall Street Journal, subscribe to those guys. All right, so let's take a look at, he is denying that he doesn't talk in third person. Here's a bunch of him talking in third person.
Nobody would be tougher on ISIS than Donald Trump. Nobody. Some of the signs you'll see are not put up by the people that love or like Donald Trump. They're put up by the other side.
So the Wall Street Journal knows how to report. They're not just saying take our word for it. They're like, here's a bunch of times of Trump talking in the third person. So a lot of people are saying, he doesn't write like that. Sure he does. He's making a little play. It's not even like it was that good a play, or like it was so. My wife had said he can't write like that. He can't write a poem. It's like this is not a good poem. This is crap. It's like of course he can. So I don't want to even hear. My wife would never defend him, but she has in this case, which is crazy. Um, my name is Donald Trump. You have the haters, and they continue to hate. Nobody's done more historically for black colleges, universities than Donald Trump. Nobody. Anybody that talks about themselves in the third person is an asshole. Later on, word choices. The Epstein letter enigmas never change. Have you noticed that? It ends with a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday. He used that word to describe Don King and Mike Johnson in his 1990 book. So that's another thing. He knows what these words mean. He's got it here. Enigma, enigma, enigma. A wonderful thing. He says this over and over again. Again, I'm not going to play them all for you. Going to be a wonderful thing for your country. That's a wonderful thing. It's going to be a wonderful thing, but it was a wonderful thing. It's over and over again. This evidence is mounting like so quickly. It's like, how do we even deny it at this point that this guy is definitely doing something wrong? I want to do a quick episode about this later, but I will say CNN is even qualifying, the Democrats' responses. Like, well, he hasn't been accused of any wrongdoing. That's what they're saying over and over again. No wrongdoing because there's no legal term. Why don't they say, hasn't been convicted of a crime? Basically, what's happening, we already know it. Somebody in the back office behind the camera is telling them, we don't want to get sued, so make sure you be deferential to the president. Well, guys, that's how authoritarians take over, so let's not do that. Stand up. All these companies have billions of dollars. Get together and say, hey, ABC, NBC, CBS, do we really have to take this shit? Of course not. Just fight them together. It's not that hard. Newspapers can come together and be like, let's get our own lawyers. He's pressuring all these law firms to work for free. Why don't they just ask for help? Because there's tons of lawyers out there that are not happy that the Constitution doesn't even matter anymore. It's like, what the fuck did they even go to law school for? So this is Lies of the Orange Era. Like, subscribe, help us get to 1,000 so we can keep exposing this stuff for what it is.